Are they selling drugs right there?
How about this? Eat my man.
It's hard to get answers about what's going on at the corner of Peachtree and Sale the conventional way.
We're doing a story on this house, in this house right over here.
But if you back off and secretly watch what's going on, like I did, you might be surprised. Especially after 1120 Sale Avenue has been busted twice in recent months on charges including heroin trafficking, heroin possession, drug paraphernalia, and a convicted felon with a gun. No matter when I watch, morning, noon, or night, every few minutes, I record men and women going to the back door, spending a couple of minutes inside, and coming back out. As many as 15 per hour. Passing each other, coming and going. Some of them emerge handling plastic-wrapped packages, stuffing them in their pockets as they walk away. Many are discreetly dropped off down the street and then picked up by the waiting cars a few minutes later. And often, they're moving fast. What are they buying? I watch these two go in, come out a couple of minutes later, and then I follow them as they ride their bikes straight over to Taylor and Bicknell, the site of the nearest mobile needle exchange, where they load up with free taxpayer-furnished syringes. The house across the street from 1120 Sale is almost as busy, and when one of them is closed or doesn't have what they came for, the customers go to the other home. Police tell me there is no question when scores of people come and go from a house after spending a couple of minutes inside, they're buying drugs. It never lets up. On August 12th, when a man was shot in the face in a drive-by half a block away on Longfield Avenue, the police chopper circling above and patrol cars driving by looking for suspects, business remains brisk at both of the homes I'm watching. And on July 23rd, when what appears to be a detective and a patrol car show up at 1120 Sale, the customers scatter, but it all fires back up again 20 minutes after they leave. LMPD refused our request to do an interview about this report. Neighbors are too afraid to do interviews.
Hey, how are you? I'm John Bull with Wave 3.
So I tried to talk to the people coming out of the two houses. These two closed the garage door and took off as soon as they noticed us.
I've been watching here the last couple of weeks, and it looks like that house right there is selling drugs, and that people are coming here for drugs as well.
Nobody's coming here. I'm not.
You're not selling drugs right here?
No, nobody's doing anything.
Do you live here?
I got nothing to say to you.
Are you guys selling drugs out of that house right there? Right there?
Man, I don't live there and I ain't got nothing to say to you. Can you quit harassing me?
There's no answers. There's nothing to talk about. Why am I getting bombarded here?
Why did you guys close up the garage here and take off when we came up?
I'm getting ready to leave.
Okay.
I'm leaving.
So nobody on this block here is selling drugs?
I don't know. I don't nothing to do with anything.
And there is no break in the action even on August 6th.
Let's go!
During National Night Out Against Crime. While citizens bond with police at the park a few blocks away to try to make their neighborhood safer, their neighborhood is filled with people steadily coming and going from two homes at the corner of Sale and Peachtree. John Bull, Wave 3 News. Sitting on a porch, counting out small items in her hand, loading them in a glass pipe, and firing it up. A minute later, the same woman gets up with the white stuff in the plastic bag, moves to a nearby porch, sets out a syringe, and starts preparing the next batch. She drops the syringe, picks it off the ground, and continues the process right in the open at Dixie and Hill. An intersection like none other, according to my analysis of LMPD's crime tracker, with 26 arrests here over the past 6 months, almost all for drugs, like cocaine, heroin, and meth. That's because people like these two stand out along the road for hours every day advertising their goods, disappearing between these two houses when a customer arrives. Then the customer emerges a minute later, counting items in the palm of his hand. Business is so good, he comes back again an hour later and comes back out checking the apparent purchase in his hand. Similar activity at this house goes all day with wrapped plastic bags containing something white, then continues well into the night. Dozens of people going in and coming back out after spending a couple of minutes inside. The drive-thru is busy too, cars pulling up for a couple of minutes, and the sellers come to the passenger side window. Sometimes police pull up and move them along.
How difficult is this to observe? I'm videotaping the same things others can see, just sitting in a car here at the intersection. Day or night, point a camera in any direction, and you see what life is really like here at Dixie and Hill.
It's a place where police park or patrol constantly, When they leave, these people open the back hatch of their vehicle, trying to sell what appear to be handguns, flashing in the streetlights. It's a place where prostitution flourishes. Women know where to stand so cops don't see them, but the customers can. It's a place where hand-to-hand transactions from parking lots to sidewalks are non-stop. It's a place where flashing lights are continuous too. These lights catch my eye on November 20th. A car pulled over in the Rally's lot. 2 more patrol cars arrive for backup. The people inside are searched, hands on the car. Then police spend several minutes searching the car. After police pull away, I ask the driver what happened.
They coming from the opposite side, but they watched us ride past and then turned around and went behind us. And then used that as excuse to pull us over that my plate wasn't laminated.
According to the citation, he was charged with having a non-illuminated license plate, suspended driver's license, and no insurance. He doesn't understand why he was searched for that.
They looking for stuff that ain't even in there. You know what I mean? They looking for stuff that they trying to find something, reaching, trying to find anything they can.
What'd they say to you when they were doing that?
They was just like, we about to search the car. They ain't even really asked for it, they just did it type thing, you know what I mean?
Why would an officer need to search a car because of an unilluminated license plate and a no driver's license?
Yeah, so like I said, I can't speak to that stop specifically because I wasn't that officer there and I haven't looked into that stop. So just in fairness to the officer and the person that was stopped, I can't go into that.
LMPD won't comment on that stop and search, but Sergeant Lamont Washington will address the overall problem here. He says there's no easy answer and you can't police your way out of situations like this.
It's an intricate dance because you don't want to police that area so heavy that people don't feel comfortable going to that area, that it's a hassle, right? But you also don't want people to feel comfortable turning tricks in a parking lot of a gas station, doing a hand-to-hand transaction.
I'm John Bull with Wave 3.
Back at Dixie and Hill, the woman I videotaped at the beginning of this report doesn't want to talk.
Ma'am, is this house right back here selling drugs?
No, bad, no houses, don't hit.
Ma'am, I've seen you here, so you would know.
A man who lives at the home where I videotaped the most activity will do an interview.
And I see people using drugs right here. I videotape people shooting up and smoking crack right here.
From my house. And I don't even know nothing about it. Most towns sleep.
The people standing out in front of here, though, selling drugs, do you know them?
No.
You ever say, move it on somewhere else?
All the time.
All the time?
It don't do no good. It come right back.
When it comes to crime, no corner in Louisville stood out like 4th and Winkler. In 2017, I sat in a car right here recording drug dealing and using and overdosing in broad daylight. Business was always brisk, a constant cash and drugs flow at all hours of the day. I was watching because LMPD Crime Tracker showed 35 crimes reported there over the previous 6 months: assault, theft, robbery, burglary, handguns, and a lot of drug charges. Are businesses enabling it? We went undercover recently and found the store on the corner whose parking lot hosted most of the drug dealing, selling packaged crack smoking kits with the pipe and filter.
Can I get a rose kit? You said rose? Yeah. You don't got the whole kit?
We came in here the other day and bought one of these crack kits from you, the crack pipe.
From me?
Yeah, from you.
Personally? We don't sell that stuff, brother.
Yeah, no, we had a hidden camera on and we
yeah, but we don't have that stuff, and I don't know what you're talking about.
So what is going on here at 4th and Winkler? Without telling anybody, I parked in the same spot, at the same intersection, and with the same camera. I recorded for the past couple of weeks to see if anything has changed, and there is one big change.
LMPD aggressively policing this corner, pulling up and going through the pockets of people standing there, questioning this woman just waiting at the bus stop, disbanding groups that gather anywhere around the intersection, and getting out and checking out vehicles that look suspicious to them. It comes at the same time the city is having a heated debate about aggressive policing versus individual rights in crime hotspots.
I think we're in a period of time in our community, unfortunately, where we need our police officers doing more, not less.
I think that there may be people who feel that you didn't go far enough. There are going to be people who felt like that you went too far.
What kind of effect has this kind of policing had at 4th and Winkler? LMPD Crime Tracker shows 15 crimes committed here the past 6 months. That's less than half the 35 crimes here over 6 months in 2017.
And when you talk about an area like 4th and Winkler, that is the nexus of the police department's strategy of people, places, and narcotics. So we're not indiscriminately choosing people and violating their constitutional rights.
I asked the head of the 4th Division about this kind of preemptive, search the pockets, aggressive policing.
It's what the officers are doing is they're focusing their efforts in an area where we know we have problems. The officers who are out there every day know the people who are causing those problems. When they see bad behavior, when they see a law being broken, or when they see activity that through their training and experience they know is indicative of criminal activity, they're taking action.
And what's interesting, in the brief respites when police aren't pouncing, the party fires back up. Vodka, beer, hand-to-hand transactions, on foot or through car windows, processing profits, and prostitution. While the biggest question is often whether the staggering customers of all this activity are going to make it.
The work is never going to be done, and there's always going to be that challenge. We know that policing matters.
It's the ultimate challenge. How heavily and aggressively can you pour police officers into one place where there is a seemingly endless supply of suppliers and customers? In zombie-like scenes where arms aren't in sleeves but inside shirts, which we're told is done to keep a hand on a gun in dangerous situations. John Bowl, Wave 3 News.